new goals and everything. I want to get better blood work than Greg Doucette because he's always been with me.
Sometimes you need to be bullied. You need to be made fun of. You need to be told, look, you're an idiot, moron, fat piece of shit. Coach Greg, in today's video, I saved Togei's life. You might be thinking I'm making this shit up, that it's clickbait, but we're going to hear it from Togi himself as he describes this on the Raw Talk podcast. Coach Greg's going to sell cookbooks out of this. Greg's about to sequence each second from here. Coach Greg going to get emotional. Let's watch the video and see if Togi has turned over a new leaf. Togi previously almost died. I've called him out for having horrendous blood work, that he wasn't going to make it to 40, and that he has to stop sniffing creatine, doing math, abusing recreational substances.
Next week, I got to visit at the doctor's appointment. I'm getting Aqualix and microneedling. So they go in there and you know what Aqualix is?
No.
It's a fat dissolver.
Has Togi become the new clavicular? I mean, can you actually believe it? I said clavicular is the new Togi, and apparently I got it in reverse. He played the Uno reverse card. Togi is injecting fat dissolvers because he doesn't like his jawline. He wants it to be more angular, and he's putting on creams, microneedling. He's trying to get rid of all of the acne and become more of a Chad.
She called me daddy, I don't even know her mama.
Hopefully he doesn't listen to clavicular and start using math in order to stop eating and to get more chiseled.
A course of 3 weeks, I'll have like a way sharper face. And then I do it all, like the bone mashing. I actually do. I love it.
No, you're lying.
Brad, you got
lying,
no,
bro.
I'm telling you.
And so Bradley's like, there's no way. Like, no, don't even start smashing the bone. You take something hard like a blue lobster and you smash it against your orbital bone, whatever it's called, and it makes it get a little bit bigger. The swelling, the bones, I think it's Wolf's Law. It continues to get bigger and stronger. Does he really need to do any of this shit? I mean, let's be honest. Let's get real. This is moronic.
Don already had this conversation with Clav. Like, you look at a UFC fighter. Did you talk about that? Like, UFC fighters are very handsome because they get bone mashed nonstop hard for life.
UFC fighters aren't handsome from being punched in the face. If anything, they're getting disfigured. They're getting punched in the face. Their nose is up into their foreheads. They look all messed up. They're losing teeth and so on. And so, no, they don't look more handsomer. The fact that they're chiseled, that they have single-digit body fat and they're very muscular, that is why they look good, because their bodies have been working 3 to 5 hours a day to get lean with muscle, and they have low levels of body fat.
Is that a thing of the past now or what? Not fitness in general, because I'm assuming you're going to continue to work out, but like the steroids, bodybuilding, that whole stuff.
Bradley saying, look, has those days of steroid abuse, using recreational drugs, is that all behind you? Is that just a thing in the past and you're now on to better things?
That's kind of like way on the back burner because my blood work from back then, like my kidneys were that of like a 90-year-old's.
And so Togi's come to realize that there's only so much you can do to your body. The grams of gear, the liver, perhaps it's more resilient, but his kidneys, it's not going to bounce back. And you remember, I repeated in multiple videos that he needed to stop, that his blood work, it wasn't good, that if he wanted to live a long and healthy life, he needed to be healthier, that he couldn't continue to blast gear.
The night I overdosed, the doctor was like, your kidneys are, and I'm like, how? And he's like, well, you took, like 30 meth pills. Who would have known that pills is bad for your kidneys?
Who would have known? Who? I mean, would know that doing 30 pills of meth as well as blasting hella gear would be bad for your kidneys. I mean, no one knows these things. I mean, bro is acting as if people haven't watched any of my 4,000 videos. Of course, every person who blasts steroids, who does gear, who takes recreational drugs, they know it's bad for your kidneys.
I had no idea it was bad for my kidneys. And I also was under the impression that you could take, whatever steroids you want. And as long as you take telmisartan.
Bro, remember he was promoting the peptides? As long as you're on telmisartan, you're good, gonna control your blood pressure. And so perhaps he was watching a bunch of Mr. Mike videos thinking that all you have to do is some telmisartan, some glutathione, essentially some polypharmacy, and you're good to go. Nothing could ever harm you. Now remember, At AlgoRx, you can get your blood work done. You can get prescribed testosterone and clomiphene, list of peptides, all the things to help. But if you're abusing steroids, none of that is going to be effective enough. Abusive levels of steroids are going to take years off of your life. There's no way around it. And so if you do it long enough, bad things are going to happen. And so please go to AlgoRx, make sure you're doing things as safely as possible. And please, please do your cardio, eat healthy, try not to be obese, because the more bad things you add to what you're doing to your body, the worse it's going to become.
My whole outlook on everything has been like new goals and everything. I want to get better blood work than Greg Doucette because he's always been with me.
Better blood work than Greg Doucette. I mean, why not have a normal goal? Next thing he's going to say, he's going to beat me on a Zwift bike race. I mean, are any of these things even possible? Why don't we set realistic goals? For example, have more money than Coach Greg. That at least is possible. Togi is perhaps the David Goggins of gambling. He can make tons of money. Perhaps he can make $1 million a month and eventually have more money than Coach Greg. But to have better blood work than me, bro who doesn't do cardio, who eats shit food, it isn't going to happen. But if you do want to have a chance at better blood work than Coach Greg, strongly recommend you pick up blood work. What do you think it's for? It's for people who are abusing steroids. Perhaps they're doing SARMs, they're drinking alcohol, they're just not healthy. And so this is going to help you to get healthier than ever before. Remember, I've had my blood work done. I just literally posted a video of this yesterday. And people cannot believe it. I was reading the comments saying, how could your cholesterol be so good? How could this be good? How is it possible you abuse steroids for 10 years, but yet your blood work comes out this good? I'm certain blood work is helping, but also, of course, my diet. You know what I'm eating. It's from the cookbook, code Greg, 15% off, as well as I'm racing bikes. And so I'm doing all of the cardio, living a healthy life.
He was right. I was totally going to die. But now he's like still kind of living in my head rent free. So I'm going to try and get healthier than him. I'm getting close. Like my blood work is crazy good these days.
And so many of you perhaps hated me for calling people out, for telling it the way it is. But sometimes you need to be bullied. You need to be made fun of. You need to be told, look, you're an idiot, moron, fat piece of shit. And if you continue to do the things that you're doing, you're going to die. Rather than dying, why not stop doing that stupid shit that you're doing? Perhaps get up off the couch and go for a walk, do some exercise, lift some weights, and start eating healthy. Does that not make more sense? And so Togi, he's living a newfound healthy life, and I'm all here for it.
My entire come up was like very similar to Clav's in the sense that I did it the easy route.
The easy route?
Abusing drugs, doing all those crazy things. He says it's over. He doesn't need to do that anymore. He did it in order to get famous, and he's famous now, and so he doesn't need to keep going. He compares himself to Clav and says it's very similar. You say a bunch of stupid shit that everyone hates you for. You say the N-word, you promote steroids, you say things that you know people are going to be mad at. The comments go crazy, and you go viral, and people follow you. It's that simple, and especially with the clip thing, the clip farming and so on. Rather than making a 20-minute video, you make a 3-second video and it gets shown millions and millions of times because kids today, they have no attention spans. And so that's as long as they can concentrate.
I'll give you the perfect example. I'll do 250 million views right now. Everyone watching this knows that I'm not racist. I'm just proving a point of how easy it is.
And so we know Togi isn't racist, but if he says a racist type things, people are going to get mad at him and he's going to go viral. And then he'll say, it's just a stupid word. It doesn't mean anything. You can clip farm me for all you like, but I'm now famous and I'm not even racist. I said a word that got you all riled up. And so who came out on top?
It's like so easy to be the bad guy and get the attention. But now I've like reworked it because I don't want to die.
And so just like Clav, hey, you say the N-word, you pretend that you're racist, you tell people that you're using drugs since you were 14, and you promote recreational drugs and steroids. And so obviously you're the bad guy. Oh, I can't believe this guy. How could he do that? Do they even mean what they're saying, or are they even being honest? Are they fake natties? In other words, how do you know that they don't say they're on steroids when they're actually not? How do we know that Clav is actually doing math? Maybe he's not doing math. Maybe he's not even on steroids, but just claims to be. Oh, I started at age 14. That'll get them going. And then once they're famous enough, they say, oh, I don't think I'm going to do those things anymore. I've turned over a new leaf.
I get what you're saying entirely about like the sensationalism of whether it be words or... Do you think that's been like a good thing or a bad thing overall?
Obviously, it's a bad thing for the world. He's promoted countless teenagers, thousands, to follow in his footsteps. Clav being the perfect example. How many people do you think are trying to be the next Clav or the next Togi by using steroids, using drugs, and thinking if they get a really jacked physique, perhaps they have a lot of acne and gyno, that they're going to be the next big thing?
Shifting your regular, like reasonable mind into being like a crazy person where you actually believe some of the things that you're saying.
And so the key is you have to be so out of your mind, you know, doing a bunch of steroids, taking a bunch of recreational drugs, that you're so stupid that you actually believe what you're saying so that it can appear to be authentic, even though it isn't. And so Togi didn't even believe the things that he was saying. He was just high on so many different substances that it appeared to be authentic. You actually think that he thought what he was doing made sense.
Clav was big time autistic weirdo. Togi was super insecure, loser. So it took extreme measures of turning myself with drugs, and that's what Clav does.
Insecure loser. Togi was what? One of the best baseball players in the world, a super athlete. He was on like a national baseball team. He's 6'2". He's not ugly. And Clav, yeah, he's neurodivergent. Aren't we all? But he's 6'2" and attractive. Like, you're trying to convince me that these guys who are far above average, taller than average, better looking than average, that it was so hard for them to fit in. Oh my God, I had no friends growing up. No one liked me. I believe none of this bullshit. You guys have it way easier than most people. You're smarter than average. You're better looking than average. You're taller than average. And so don't start crying to Coach Greg saying, well, we had it so hard. None of you are 5'6" manlets. And even that, it's nothing. You think it matters if you're 5'6" in order to be confident?
It doesn't matter!
You can be 5'6" and confident or 6'6" and confident. The only difference is one can play basketball and one cannot. And also gets rejected by 85% of women who are taller than them. And, well, the list goes on and on. But who cares?
But now I'm dead sober and I feel more confident than because I put myself in these situations so many times. Now I can, you know, I feel like I could talk to the world fully confident, sober.
It actually, he is making sense. Getting confidence doesn't come from practicing and failing. It comes from practicing, failing, and knowing that you can come back. Screwing up hundreds of times doesn't help you to be more confident, but being able to continue to do what you did despite failing, that makes you confident. If every time you did something 100 times in a row, you won. Let's call it asking girls on a date. You're 6'3", excessively good looking. You just are the best, hottest guy in the world. And you approach 10 girls and you ask them for their phone number. And every single time they say yes. It's almost impossible, but let's say it happened. Do you think you're then building confidence? What happens if the next 10 they say no? You don't know what to do. In comparison, the person who asked 20 times and only had yes 2 times, they're probably more confident than you because they've learned to deal with the failures, the losses, and still come back for more. And so confidence doesn't come from successes. It comes from failures and coming back.
Maybe you can preach positivity and stay healthy and work out and do that. I don't think that works. I think you need hard drugs to transform your brain.
I don't believe that to be true. Just because Togi didn't try it the healthy way doesn't mean you can't do it yourself. You exercise, you go to the gym, you build some muscle, you build some confidence, you try, you fail, you come back. You realize that in the future, none of this is going to matter. How many generations from now will people even remember your name? Probably not too many. And so just realize that whatever you think you're doing right now that you think is so important, it matters so much. You have a zit on your face, people are going to see it. 10 years from now, there's no way you're going to be thinking about some stupid zit you had on your cheek when you were 19 years of age. Forget about that and worry about the things that really matter.
And I think partially the reason I was so insecure to start is because I to my brain chemistry by smoking weed every day since I was like really young.
And so maybe if he hadn't have smoked the weed, hadn't have watched so much corn growing up, that he wouldn't have needed to do all those hard drugs in the first place. He mentioned, well, if you're an athlete, then perhaps you don't need to do these things. Bro was a national baseball superstar. He is an athlete. And so why did he go down the athletic route? I'll tell you why. He discovered weed. He discovered drugs. And he stopped playing the sports. Instead, he did the drugs. And so had he stayed on the proper trajectory, playing sports, you know, a Coach Greg trajectory, he wouldn't have needed to do all those things to have the personality, the confidence to talk to the rest of the world.
But I can say, like, if I'm speaking from my own perspective, I didn't take gear till I was like about 22, 23. And I just dealt with a bunch of, and I just like hated myself.
And Bradley Martin is what, 6'2" as well? Above average good looking man and wealthy. And we have all these guys talking about, oh, I had no confidence. I hated myself. Imagine being a normal person. Imagine Bradley Martin at 5'6". How do you think he would have done? Add to that, he has no hair.
So for sure, I would make sure that I've got his blood work done. I can't immediately go like, yo, take Xanax or steroids. Like there's tons of things he could do to fix his hormones.
And so, yeah, aside from going to Algorex and getting his blood work done and trying to make sure that he's as healthy as possible, you know, perhaps he needs some peptides to help with his appetite or Clomid or Enclomifene, whatever it is. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to try to convince my son at age 20 to start abusing recreational drugs in order to give him a better chance with the ladies. It's not the way to do this. You can go down a negative spiral and never come back. Of course, you're going to encourage him. Continue to go to the gym, work out, lift weights. And he doesn't have to be a ladies' man. He only needs one. Y'all acting like men are cooked if they can't get a girlfriend by the age of 20? Since when do you have to get married by 21? There's a lot of time left for this. You can let him cook. Go to school, get a job, be better, do better. And eventually, some point in your life, the right person probably going to come along.
I just wouldn't go straight to like, yo, take Xanax, chill the out, get to the gym.
Chill the out.
Rather than all of those drugs, you just get him Blue Lobster. This is going to have him more talkative than last time. He's going to be feeling better. He's going to have more energy. And you can remove all those separate substances. I don't even know if I can name them or I'll get this video demonetized. And so why not just use this instead of sniffing creatine and the list of all those things? Get Blue Lobstered and go about your day. Go to the gym, get Blue Lobstered, go out with your friends, get Blue Lobstered throughout the day. There are so many safer ways to be energetic, feel good, than to use various substances. And of course, you got to get Turk maxed.
So that's why like the next year is a whole new challenge. It feels like I'm starting my career from day one.
Holy, you're like an OnlyFans girl who did a bunch of porn and then they stopped.
Shut the f up. No.
What a perfect example. Togi is like an OF girl who regrets what she's done and says, no, I'm not going to do those things anymore. I want to be a wholesome influencer. And so there you have it. I've saved Togi's life. He's going to live longer than last time. He's stopping to abuse all of the things. Essentially, we discovered that he only did this to become famous, that he's essentially hacked the system in the same way that Clavicular and others have done by saying ridiculously stupid and moronic things, promoting stupid things, telling you to do stupid things. But it was all just to become famous, that he didn't actually believe it because he was under the influence of said substances and he doesn't want to do that anymore. And so I don't know if this is beneficial because I feel like a lot of people are just going to watch this and say, well, I'm going to do exactly what he says. They're going to start saying the N-word all the time and they're going to start promoting steroids. They're going to use steroids. They're going to say you should use recreational drugs. They're going to do all these bad things and then they're going to go viral and then it's going to keep snowballing and more people are going to do this. We need a paradigm shift in thinking. We need to stop thinking that this is the way to do it. And trust me, you're going to feel better if you can go viral from educational things that you believe in, than simply hacking the system. But take it for what you will. Do what you need to do. I'm just here reporting the news. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch any of those two bloops. Of course, if you're looking to be a sponsored HTLT athlete, perhaps it's Togi, perhaps it's somebody else, you want to be part of the HTLT family, message us. We're looking to pay out various influencers. We're looking for the best influencers in the world. And there's big news in stores. I can't wait to tell you about it. It's coming soon. If you want to have supplements like the Blue Lobster in your stores or in your gyms, click the link and apply. Don't forget about the cookbooks, the Turk, all the good things. Code Greg. And until next time, I am out.